Are you wondering if you should buy a new Ford F-150? A 24, 2025, you know, new 2026? Well, let me show you around this one and see if you want to buy one or not. So me personally, I had to get the V8. So your startup sound like this. Yeah, always a joy. Now let me give you a little rundown of everything that's going on in this truck. First up, we'll start with the screen. So you look right here, let's start with features. So this is the Ford F-150 XLT. So it's not that fancy, but this is now standard. This screen and this screen is now standard in these trucks. But this is what I got for the model that I was able to get. So you got your owner's manual, which is cool. You have towing, so you have a whole list of things. So that's pretty neat. And then if we go back, zone lighting is super sweet. So you can turn the front lights on, turn them on. Well, that's the fog lights, but let's turn those off. So you could turn the front lights on. You could turn the rear lights on. If you could see that. But it's pretty neat. Or you can do all zones. So, or just turn that off altogether. And then there's the driver assistance, which I have it turned off, where you can turn it off right here on the wheel. So that's nice that you can do that, along with turning off auto start stop down here. But this is where you can edit your driver assist and change it however you want. So we got that. I'm not sure what that is. I'll leave it alone. And then your settings, you got your, you know, standard settings, your sound, your phone, general, all that stuff. You got Amazon Alexa, Ford Assistant, check for updates, all that. So that's pretty neat. The coolest part about this screen would be YouTube. So you can connect apps that work with this truck, and yeah, you could find mobile apps through your phone. But yeah, they got to be compatible with the truck, so YouTube is, which is nice. With the Ford Pass, you also have the karaoke, which is pretty fun. It's kind of a gimmick almost. And here's one of the biggest differences from the older years to this year. So the older years, you had that small screen and you could only have your music and your maps like scrunched together pretty much, like that. Okay, but now you can have your maps right there, and you can have your music over here. So you can have the bigger maps over here for driving, and it actually does help out like on road trips and stuff, because you get more of a view. And the screen isn't like that big compared to some of these, like a lot of them nowadays, you know, like the Teslas and stuff. It's a whole like friggin' monitor right here, but this is still manageable. So that's nice. And then audio, you know, your regular AM, FM, Bluetooth, whatever you want. So that is that screen right there. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of the basics. All right, so the next thing we got is the HUD, you know, the driver hood. First one's driver assistant, so you can either turn that on or turn it off. So I always keep it off, but on each side of this lane, when it detects your lane, it will have a line there. And then if you get too close, it'll go yellow, and then red. You can, in the settings, you can either change it to, it'll pull you away from that line, which I think is dangerous, but it'll pull you away from the line, or it'll alert you and buzz the wheel like vibrate the wheel, or you could just, you know, turn it off completely, but you can still have the lines there, or it'll be very, very faint. I decided to just keep it off because I'm a good driver, you know. It's for the incompetent, but it's there. It's nice to have. You have a calm view where there's nothing there. Oh yeah, just like that. That's real nice. And then you can go down to your trip. I never changed that. There's your MPG, which is sweet. You can, it's really easy to reset. You just hold that OK button and it resets. But next we got tire pressure, which is nice to have. And then yeah, you can configure it however you want, but that's kind of my configuration. So now if we go to menu, we'll go to trip and fuel, and that's where you add your trips, and then you got your fuel economy, so that's simple. And then gauges, this is real nice. So you have your engine coolant temp, your tranny temp, engine oil temp, and your battery voltage all right there. So there ain't no guessing, and it's real nice for towing because this is the XLT package, so it helps a lot, you know. They're made for towing. So these two temp gauges, also transmission and coolant, just in a different style. And then let's go on to the next. So the next one we have is the off-road tab. Now this is super cool. So there's our compass, and I'll show you all the you know, the four-wheel drive modes and stuff. But there's your compass, your off-road status. So that's kind of like what drive to what powers, or wow, that wasn't English. The drive, the power to the whatever wheel, pretty much. And then you got your pitch and roll right there, pitch and roll. So that's real nice. Towing, we have trailer information. So this is where you can track your whatever trailers you have, track mileage for maintenance and stuff on your trailers, which is real cool. And trailer light status. Now this just allows you to check whether your brake lights work, tail lights work, and whatnot on your trailer. So that's a real nice feature to have, instead of, you know, having someone press the brake and turn on the lights and blinkers and all that. It'll do that for you, or let you know if it's not working. Engine information, this is where your oil life is. So every, what is it? It's about every 10% is 1,000 miles. So I try to do my oil changes every like 5,000 to 6,000. So when this says 50%, I'm around there at around 5,000 miles. So trying to keep this engine healthy and last, because I'm gonna have this truck for a very long time, hopefully. So that's a rough gauge. It helps out a lot. And then tire pressure, of course, that's simple. And then phone and audio. So that's just, you know, what it is. Let me show you the different that's too high, okay, two-wheel drive. Let me show you four-wheel drive, what the screen does on the four-wheel drive. So right here we have 4 high and then 4 low buttons. And another cool thing is we have our drive modes. Now this is what we're gonna do first. So the way you change them is you twist this to whatever way and whatever drive mode you want. We are in normal drive mode right now, so that's what your screen looks like. Let's go to the right, actually let's go to the left. So to the left, here's our tow haul. Now this will switch up the screen, and there you go. You have trailer information, all whatever RPMs top left up there, your distance and all that. So we'll go left one more. This is your eco mode. Honestly, it's not great, doesn't do much. So it changes it kind of green a little bit, and you can see in the bottom right you have whatever mode you're in. It'll tell you there too. So that's eco mode. This is the fun one. This is sport mode, and this one really unlocks the truck. And this is actually unironically the best one to ride in, because you have max pedal sensitivity so you don't actually abuse it. Well, you do because you want to go fast, but it's the best probably for mileage if you're easy on it, because you have like pretty good control on the pedal and you're not like, you know, smashing it more to try to get it out of it because of the like the, not the detune, but the, well, they have less input. There it is, less input on the throttle in the other modes, and for sport mode it's pretty much instant. So yeah, I mean, I rock that. Don't always gotta go fast, but it's definitely nice to drive in. This one is slippery, so it'll shift into 4x, and then look at that, it's like an ice road pretty much. And as you can see, bottom left, we are 4 high, and you have the little ice mode emblem down there. So that's what that looks like. And then we will go to the off-road. Now this is the coolest looking one. There we go. So this is your full menu right here. So you got your compass, tells you your elevation, you know, what coordinates, what drive into what wheel, your pitch and roll, you know, your speedo, your temps up there, RPM to the left. So this is definitely one of the coolest looking ones. And you got the little dirt background, so definitely cool. That's a nice perk. And never buy a truck without 4-wheel drive personally, but so yeah, that's that. Let's get to some more features. So on the front console, well, not console, but you know, the dash, so there's your drive mode, there's your 4 high, low, all that. Cool. Here's your temp right here, so you just press that, that'll turn it on, and you just press that, turn it off, you know, simple. Volume, same thing, press to turn on, off. That's your, you know, volume, twist, tune. Now right there you can turn on your camera, your rear camera, or turn it off, which is super nice feature instead of only having it in reverse. And then there's your, this is one feature I don't like, is you got to press that in order to figure out what you want here. That's stupid. Just make buttons down, you know, make buttons down here, but that's what they did. Got to live with it. Now this I don't mind too much. This is your fan speed, so like, you know, you could up is, you know, faster fan speed, down is lower. You get a cigarette lighter port in here. You get 2 USB-Cs right there, and then the glove box, you press the button, it opens the top portion, and then regular glove box, you know, you just pull that, and you get a nice cubby down here. So a nice cubby. Since this is the bench seat version, you get the cubby, so that's real nice. And on the steering wheel, you get, there's your menu, you know, up, down, back, hang up the phone, music selection. We have the cruise control, you know, set whatever, driver assistance, speak to the truck, and then your volume notches. And then here, auto start stop, turn that off, because I hate it. Your light choosing is a dial, so you know, that is what it is. We'll just put it to auto. And down here, I'm not, that's your timer, I think, for your lights. And then cargo lamp over here to the left, and then that's just telling you that's your light switch. And then on the door we have the lock and unlock, and then your mirror selection right here, and there's your mirrors, whatever mirror you want, and then your, you know, windows. So not too shabby at all. If I didn't say it before, I have the 2025 XLT 4x4 with the 5.0 Coyote V8 engine, and it is a very good truck to me so far. I've had it for about, I'd say, 6,000 miles now, and it's been nothing but great. I've done the oil change, my second oil change now at 26,000 miles. I've only driven it for 6 because I bought it at 21,000 miles, but it's been a good truck so far. I'm going to be doing a lift, big tires, you know, the whole works, just because I can't go without that. I can't be driving a grandpa truck. Come on now, that ain't me. So yes, there are plans for this truck. There's plans for the other vehicles if you watch my other video introducing all of them. So I'm excited. This is a good truck. I gotta keep it a good truck, so I gotta keep up my maintenance because this is my daily. So let's get back to showing you around the inside of the truck here and all the space that there is. So now I got stuff in the cup holder, so I won't do it, but actually, yeah, you know. So we first have our cubby here, and then, you know what, I'll let that fall. And there it goes. And then down here, you press a button, and you have storage down here, which is pretty sweet. You don't get that with a console, but there's your bench seat right there, so not too bad. And then if we come back here, don't mind the mess, but this is our, how much room we have. So we have a ton of freaking room in here. You know, you got some storage down here. I got my shop towels, first aid, and ratchets and stuff. And the seats flip up like that, and then they come down, and that's the kind of room we're looking at. So a ton of leg room. So not bad at all. I put a little trash can over there. So my friends are messy, but that's the roof, what it all looks like. So not bad. That's what the door's looking like. So it's a real nice truck, and I like it a lot. Now, good thing I have the aftermarket third brake light, because the old one was halogen and doesn't light anything up. But here is the bed. Pretty simple, explanatory. It's a truck bed. Here is the outside of the truck. Pretty sweet. I would have done this in the daytime, but I was busy. I put the 5.0 badge on there. I got a new badge coming for there, but this is just showing you what this truck is. The headlights are real nice. I honestly like this more than the higher packages, because this is kind of a more unique look. But this is what a stock truck looks like, other than the exhaust. But listen to that. Oh yeah, she purrs. But this truck is great, and I'd recommend this truck. You know, maybe not the fast. Well, they're both fast, so both of the trucks are like engines are pretty fast, but you know, it's the 5.0 Coyote, so these things are kind of sought after, because you always see the guys making the single cab Coyotes with the Whipple and all that stuff. And who knows, I may throw a Whipple on here, but that's a later date, and things are expensive, all right? But you know, you always see people modding these things out, and so I wanted this spec because I always carry passengers, and the bench seat's a plus too for other activities, but that's besides the point. But yeah, this truck is pretty cool. So if you are thinking of buying one, try to get, you know, do your maintenance, you know, get get whatever package you want. But I mean, for the price, I mean, these things are still pricey at, you know, 50 grand plus. Like, come on. But you know, it's I guess for the market today and how, you know, all these other vehicles are blowing up and all this other stuff and lemon lawn and whatnot, I mean, I would say so far I've had a good experience with this truck. I still have a warranty till 35,000 miles. It's a straight, it's all the way to the front bumper. It's bumper to bumper to warranty, and then there's a 65,000 mile powertrain warranty, I believe. So that's not that bad, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, I would say I'd recommend this truck. You know, it's a nice simple truck. You don't need to go nothing crazy, you know. One day I'll get a Raptor R, or, you know, something crazy like that. But for, you know, a quarter of the price, you can get one of these, throw a Whipple on it, and make the same horsepower or more, you know. So it's like, but the Raptor styling's cool. But I would recommend this. Yeah. So there's some of the features of this truck and what you can expect when you go out to look and to buy one of these. I don't think I'm missing anything. Spacious, room for activities, room for luggage, good towing capacity. I forget what it is, but it's up there with towing capacity. If you get the V8, real good. A lot of modding you could do with this. And column shifter's nice. Yeah, so would recommend. So this is a good old 5.0 Coyote right here. So not bad. Hot right here. And you can hear the cam phasers going. That's the trademark of this engine. But it's a relatively simple engine. I mean, look at that. You got all that right there. You can throw a Whipple right there eventually. But yeah, not bad. I mean, it's a Ford. It's a Ford indeed. And that is ugly. Just get used to that if you get the V8. But yeah, this thing's pretty.